Alright, good morning everyone. Welcome back to my channel, Valley Carpentry. Today we are going to talk about this stuff. Polycrylic. Acrylic or polycrylic is a type of plastic. I'm going to go kind of as in-depth as I can in terms of the technicality, the specifications and the specifics about what the stuff is. This brand is the Woodok brand. It's labeled as waterborne marine. It's an exterior wood sealer. Let's talk about what polycrylic is. I've tried to do as much research as I can. Acrylic or polycrylic is a type of plastic. I think there's about 1,000 different types of plastics. Some are stronger, some are weaker, they all have different properties. For those in the know or not so much in the know, this stuff is fairly similar to polyurethane. But from previous experience, and I've never actually used polyurethane myself, I've used polycrylic and I've used traditional varnishes. Polycrylic is not as scratch resistant, as nick resistant as polyurethane. So if you're doing a very busy dining table or a very busy coffee table, something where there's going to be a lot of movement around, something that's going to get scratched and nicked around, the polycrylic is not the strongest. You want to go with probably a varnish or a polyurethane. You can use this stuff for various things. It doesn't only have to be used on wood. You could use it on concrete. You could find a lot of applications for it, and at the end I'm going to tell you about one quick thing that I used it for the other day. It's just as an added bonus. It's what some would call a liquid plastic. This is water-based. It all seems to come water-based as opposed to polyurethane and varnishes which come in water-based and solvent-based forms. This is a liquid plastic. If you actually had to use this a lot and you have a stirrer, use the same stirrer, and you should always stir it before using it, you'll find that the plastic starts building up. You can see how strong and tough this stuff actually is. A few tips on using it though. Most of the brands that I've come across will say that it dries in, 2 hours, give or take. I find it might cure in 2 hours, but it dries to the touch substantially faster. This stuff, it dries to the touch within half an hour easy. So one thing I would generally recommend when using this stuff, because it dries so quickly, one, to water it down to thin it, to extend the drying time, and or if you're using it on wood, or concrete for that matter, sand it up to a bit of a higher grit than normal to make the surface a bit smoother. You'll find that when you put your first application on, it has a tendency to drag quite a lot. It feels like there's a lot of resistance when you're applying it, as opposed to like a varnish, which is much kind of smoother and you can play around for quite a while before doing your last with the grain strokes. Also apply the stuff in the coolest weather possible. I've used this on tables. I've applied this on tables outdoors in fairly warm weather, and the wood was so hot that this stuff, when you apply it, it would actually almost flash off. It's almost like you're watching lacquer thinners just flash off of something. So thin it with a bit of water to extend the drying time. If you're applying it to wood or concrete, sand it a bit higher to get a smoother finish. And don't apply it in overly warm weather if you can avoid it. Try and apply it in the coolest weather possible. Don't do it outside in 30-degree heat. The stuff dries way too quick. And so you'll find you have a lot of brush strokes because of it. I am going to do another video where I talk about one of my go-to exterior finishes. It involves shellac and this stuff. But so just before I make that video, I will say that this stuff really is good for water resistance. Like I say, it doesn't have the best scratch resistance, but for water resistance, from what I can make out, 3, 4, 5 coats of this stuff, very, very water resistant. This is an exterior product. I presume they've put UV inhibitors in it. I don't really know the difference between, as some of you might have seen, whether it be varnishes or polycrylics or polyurethanes. You know, they talk about marine. You know, they give you the marine option. That supposedly is one of the stronger types of finishes. How they do it, what they do, I'm not quite sure. But yeah, water resistance, this stuff is very, very good. And then one tip before I go, so what I did was I had a hole along the seam of one of my gutters. Very kind of slow dripping hole. It's actually raining outside right now. I'm going to check it again. But I just poured some of this in the area where the hole was. I couldn't locate exactly where the hole was, but I poured this around the area. It's dried and it seems to have sealed up the hole. So again, you could probably find a few, you know, tips and applications and, you know, kind of weird and wonderful areas to use this stuff besides just sealing wood with it. Yeah, and then my next video, I'm going to talk about this in shellac as one of my go-to exterior finishes. So guys, if you liked the video, if you found me quite entertaining and or you're just really bored, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and I'll catch you soon. Cheers.